Good day to everyone. Thank you for joining us. All right.
I'm
Well,
going to say,
as you know,
forgive me.
Yeah.
Forgive me. I just finished some
Hey,
food there because, it's like
I didn't screw up this
dinner
time, Steve. We came on right away. I figured that out. So,
Yeah,
the
we
old
did.
dog can be taught at least one new trick.
Yeah, that's why you caught me by surprise, by the way.
Yeah, I know, right? Usually like making that weird. Yeah. So, thank you everyone for joining. I have with me Chris Cruzy, as you all know and love. And then I have my two awesome guests today from Cosmic Force. We have Mike and Steve. Thanks for being here, guys. And so I want to ask before we go anywhere, before we get started, Mike, where are you, man?
Yeah.
Well, what are you doing?
Roger, we're currently traveling over the local moon here. It seems to be pretty cold. I nearly put my jacket on.
Do you think you might land later?
I'm going to be in this for some time.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah,
if you have any way to take if you could take a screenshot for Kryptonian, he'd much appreciate that.
Will do.
All right.
I'm actually
so everybody.
I'm actually in Montenegro right now.
Wow.
The mountains that you've got in the background. There's some mountains that look like this. So always on the move.
That's so cool. I envy you. All those different cultures and stuff that you're just not that far. You drive this way a couple hours, that way. It's amazing. That's so cool. Well, today we do have a special treat because our gentlemen from Cosmic Force have some information for us. And if you didn't know, we'll get you caught up here real quick. We are in pre-alpha release for the game. And if you don't know much about video games, or maybe you do, just a quick one-off, it's not easy. These guys are working their butts off around the clock, day in, day out, and it takes years. Generally speaking, it takes, for a big studio production, 4 or 5 years, would you guys say? Something like that?
Yeah. It's like making a movie.
Yeah.
I mean, that can take a good 4 years or even longer for some of the bigger productions,
Yeah. And you guys, however, you're doing things kind of in the newer way for 2023 and beyond. You have a smaller team than what would be traditional, with like hundreds of engineers doing it. You have a small group, and yet you're still able to accomplish a crazy amount of production, even up to this point. And you've been, it's been just over a year. Is that pretty close since you've actually started working on it?
I think the actual working on it might be 8 months because it's sort of February. So yeah, I mean, we're coming up to a year. Let's face that reality. It's coming up to a year.
That's crazy. And based on what we just talked about a second ago, so usually a game 4 or 5 years, possibly.
Yeah.
Star Citizen, never. You have your timeline that you're looking for, in my opinion, is it's really cool. It's a little aggressive, but I think it's achievable from what we've talked about before. You're looking at hopefully launching the Gamma version, like the actual full around Christmas time next year.
But if you talk about like the full, okay, so let's say in the first quarter next year, so literally the next few months, we hope to achieve like open beta, right? Which means that it be open to anyone to play, anyone to sort of like download and become a cadet. There's going to be a small cost for cadets that are really just interested in jumping on to play. And there's a caveat, and the caveat is that it's an open beta, that there's still maybe some bugs in there. But at the same time, anybody that jumps on board, even like right now, you've got not the luxury, but you've got like the right to report errors, report what they like, what they don't like, and actually can sway part of the development process. So it's been really good so far. We'll talk about what's been happening so far, but yeah. So first quarter of next year, open beta. So, but then I would say, towards the end of next year is when we release sort of full production, but we're not doing it in a way where people like sign up to be part of what we're doing, and you've got to wait 2 or 3 years and you don't see anything. So we want it to be like a very organic way of doing things. It's been a bit of an experiment on doing it this way, but it feels right, and it feels the perfect way of doing it to work like with the team. And when we say the team, we're not just talking about us developers. We're talking about the bigger team, the guys that are cadets and OGs and have actually become part of the family, the Cosmic Force family. So that's what's happening. So we'll be releasing time after time. So it could be as often as once a month that we do like bigger updates, and then we do intermediate like updates, which are like bug fixes. So right now we're on version 0.0.3. So we've done 3 releases, and the previous 2 releases have been to fix some things that might be more considered a showstopper or something that's going to stop enjoyment. It'd be really good. I think there may be some people that are joining today that may say a few comments because they've actually been doing some playing, and they might give some comments whether they like it or don't like it, or what they found out so far.
But being interactive though with the development, with the development team, you guys, is what it makes this really awesome and special, because like you were just saying, you can actually give feedback directly to the team. Hey, this bug needs to be squashed. I did this weird thing, or I walked through a wall I shouldn't walk through, or I got stuck in a floor, and it's like quicksand, or all kinds of crazy things, and that some folks really love. I know some folks really love to do that. So, and I have a treat for you guys a little bit later. I'm going to show you something fun. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but I'm going to show you something fun. And also, I think that Steve, did you or Mike have anything in particular that you wanted to just kind of start with to talk about what's going on lately, or what's coming up? Did you have anything particular?
Well, just to add on to what Steve, the father, is saying, we're going to release in stages, and the point that we say, when is the game complete, it is more like at which milestone are we now in the release, because as the game expands into what it will eventually be a metaverse, there will be certain stages where we would say, okay, now the multiplayer stage is complete, now the campaign, the story modes are complete, so everyone who jumps on board is going to have access to everything that comes on later. And not only that, but you become part of the story. You actually help steer the development. We really want to listen to the feedback and take action on this, and not do like a typical game studio who will just lock their doors away and then release something and then just try and only like fix the bugs, or when there's something up with the main gameplay itself, the players who play guide the gameplay here. So that's what we're looking at.
That's true. And I think that the thing is, like this first release, it always feels like the biggest challenge, right? Because the first release is the first impact, the first opinions that that we're going to be getting back. So for us, it felt like a real big deal for getting that gameplay out. So let me just explain the premise and how we're able to do the releases. So overall, Cosmic Force is a grand exploration game, grand space exploration game, and it's about a cosmos and a universe that is in the future. Travelers have traveled from Earth, so they're all humans in there. They've settled on a planet which we call the Home World, but the resources are starting to run out. Sounds a bit familiar. And they're looking now to travel to other planets. We're not talking Mars. We're talking the planets that are within the solar system, which is the cosmic force solar system. So we've got 6 planets that they're all going to travel to, and part of it is that we need cadets to train up and become like fighter pilots, and also have the ability to settle and mine and get the resources from the planets and actually set up new civilizations on these planets. So part of the way that we're doing it is we've created a simulator room on the home world, and these simulators give the training that's required for the cadets, so they can actually get the training before they actually go out and meet the challenges and the missions that are going to be laid out in front of us. So far with the simulators, we've got the first simulator up and running, and it's all about first-person shooting activities. So, it proves a certain element of gameplay that's going to be in Cosmic Force, but it's not limited to that. The next simulator that will be up and running that we're busy working on in the background, that's all going to be about space travel and being able to do dogfights, actually getting into the spaceship and getting out there. And we're talking full-on Star Wars. Let's say it. I'm afraid I'm not in the studio today. Usually I have the Star Wars behind me. I've got some crazy camera angle, which gives me a double chin, but I don't care because, we're talking about Cosmic Force.
I'm the same as Dad Bod.
Yeah.
I got to bring it up because as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, him and me both.
But,
dig a big grave that you can just lay all of our bodies together because we're all going to be there.
But yeah, so it's a great way of doing things because we can release the next simulator, and really it's all about like getting that basic training that you can get in there, you can get stuck into the gameplay. And for the guys that are part of the team and the testing team now, that they're able to test, and before we actually launch the leaderboards and we connect fully into the blockchain, all that kind of stuff, we're able to then let people get trained up. So actually they're getting trained up before they're going live and then fight actual real other people. So right now everything's against bots, but we're writing the code. Every bit of code that we do is written in a way that it will be totally multiplayer and immersive, and you'll be able to be, Chris will be able to be fighting against Kryptonian, for example, and who's going to kick whose ass?
Oh, yeah.
Find out.
Well. Look who we have here. Kryptonian.
Batman versus Superman.
Oh, I didn't see you there, yeah.
You guys hear me just fine? I'm on a different setup today.
Yeah, we can hear you. You're good, brother. Hey, we have a question, actually.
No video.
We have a good question from NR Legend. Hey, buddy. He says, do you guys still have nodes for sale?
Yeah, and at the moment we've sold 51 nodes, and
Nice.
To be honest, over the last month, the last 6 weeks, we haven't been pushing because we've really just been in the wings, like programming and doing the game play, because we needed, if we say we're going to release at a certain date, we want to try and hit that. We did say October we're going to release alpha, and so we've been able to do that. The nodes are still for sale. There's 300 available, and there's certain discounts that you get for being an OG or an alpha. And these are the cadets that you can NFTs that you can get on the website as well. So very good question, NR.
Yep. Thanks, NR. Appreciate it, buddy. And then we have another one from Biz. A good question. Will the game be compatible for Mac users and mobile users?
Right. So I know for a fact, because Biz told me that he's a Mac user, and I got to say, for quite a few years I was a big Mac user, and I turned my back on PC, and it's only in the last few years that I've actually returned to what I call the dark side, and and because of necessity we've gone to PC, but we will be making every attempt possible to make sure we're compatible with Mac users, because I know there's a lot of Mac users out there, and I've got to say some of the hardware, some of the kit is pretty damn good as well, you know, and I know it's capable of playing Cosmic Force. Now, when it comes to the mobile users, we're working on an idea for that, and
we want to do something special.
Yeah, something special, and it could be little offshoots of the main game, and but it'd be tied into the main game because of the blockchain. So we could have like little mini missions that are part of Cosmic Force that are mobile compatible. So right now, the full game, there's no way it could be mobile compatible in the way it is, because it's, well, you know, we possibly might see a few clips of it later, but you'll see why. Although I've got to say, a lot of mobiles out there, they're pretty powerful these days. So you might be surprised what we can put out on mobile.
Well, did you see that the announcement by Qualcomm? I think it was a day or two ago about their new chip that they're putting out. It's gonna it's for mobile. It is actually putting the Apple chips. What is it? They're at the M3 or whatever it is now.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, and you know that's a pretty freaking fast chip. I mean, that's rivaling some desktops. Apparently, the Qualcomm chip is slightly faster. Even if it's the same, it's interesting to see someone else is now getting back into the game. You know, it was Intel in the beginning, and then depending on how you want to say it, Cyrix or Cyrix, they were around in the 90s for a little bit, and they tried to get into the CPU game, and then that went for them. Then you had AMD come in and sneak attack them over this last decade, and it's just interesting. So now we have Qualcomm coming in, hitting hard with their CPUs.
Yeah.
Who knows? In a couple of years, you might be doing 20 gig downloads to a phone for a full game that would be the same on a desktop. I don't know. That's where I was going with that. Sorry, you guys that watch me, you know I'm older than dirt, so it takes me a while sometimes to get to the finish line, but I get there.
Yeah, no, it's good. But I think that's what it comes down to as well. It's actually the amount of like memory a game uses. So right now for the pre-alpha release, it's 10 gig. Although it's not streamlined, because as some of the testers out there, they've realized that there's some secret buttons that actually come up with some debug information. And so there is extra code in there that's not required. But it is required for sort of like live testing and feedback that we can get people to do as well. So it's 10 gig, and it's like, well, that's quite big already, you know. So
yeah, par for the course, I think, these days.
Yeah.
I have a question from Teddy One. He says, "I'm trying to save up for a 1% planet share. When will the sale end?"
Right. So yeah, okay. Now I have to have my mind back in the crypto, because you know we've been there, you know, programming and fighting and shooting and you know, now the space side, and we've been really in the game, right? And so it makes your mind like go away from the crypto side, which the crypto side is underneath everything, you know. But I've got to say one thing: without the game, the crypto side isn't worth anything. I know it sounds a bit weird to say that, but the utility of everything we're doing and the utility of the 1% planet is because of the game, and because the game is going to become bigger than all of us, you know, and it comes down to being able to create something that actually thousands and hopefully like millions of people can get into, you know, but it's all step by step. So we said that the 1% planet and all the pre-sales will stop when we go live, which will be going live with the new blockchain, right? So the new blockchain, and here's some news right now. In the plan, we have it in the plan to be Q1, and Q1 like means that it can be like in the first few months. Now, for us to go live with the blockchain, we wanted to go live in January with it, but you need something to actually be working on it, right? So we've been busy with the game. Now we're busy like tying in everything that we need to do to tie it into the blockchain. and tie it into the new blockchain. Also, we link into like the existing blockchain, so we're linking into Binance. So we're like a multi-chain solution, and in the future we might even link to other blockchains as well, because I know in the wings there are other blockchains that are being built for certain utility, and there could be a reason why Cosmic Voice needs to link into that as well. So right now we're not going to set an hard stop date, but I would say any time up to the end of Q1 is when I would say the pre-sale needs to end, or else it's not a pre-sale. It's like an ongoing sale.
Yeah.
And actually the sale doesn't stop. But what does happen is when we go live, when we hit the button that says that we're now live, anything like the Planet share that's in pre-sale is going to double in price just overnight, or 1 second later. So, that's all I'm saying on that one. So you've got a little bit of time, Teddy One. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be sort of re-looking at all the tokenomics and the crypto side, like now, to make sure that everything's in line, because, we need to know that people investing are actually going to be getting back what they deserve, because, you guys are trusting in what we're doing, and you deserve the rewards and everything that's laid out in the white paper on that front.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
I know I talk too much.
Nah, I think I talk too much more than you're too much. So you're going to have to try a little harder. Oh, wait a minute. No, actually, guy at the far right, the upper Hollywood square there.
Exactly. I say one word when you can say 20.
He gives quizzes on top of it. He's really mean. I always want to be last. Oh, we can't hear you, bro. Oh, no, wait a minute. We can hear you. We can hear you.
Keep talking, man. You sound great.
Crap. Now I
Grand control to me, Tom. Oh, is receiving.
Why did I? How you doing, brother?
No, I can't hear you. We lost the mic. He was talking a minute ago, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So got to step up to the mic. Mic language. Yeah. How about this? While Kryptonian's figuring out his audio challenges, how about we do this? I told you guys I had a fun treat for you. I think it's time to see. Let's watch Odie die a lot. How's that sound? Hopefully I got this. Hopefully I got this right, and the actual sound comes through, because I could get it to play through my browser the regular way. So we'll give it a shot. All right. So this is me playing a couple days ago, and this is highly edited. There's a lot more dying than you're going to get to see. It's only 3 minutes worth.
So this is one of the levels within the simulator, right?
Yeah. Can you hear anything?
No, it can't.
No,
you couldn't put this on StreamYard to just run it through?
What's that?
You couldn't.
Well, I tried. I went to share, or I went to here. Let me stop this. So I went to present and then share screen, right?
Well, no. What I'm saying is, why didn't you just up the whole video to StreamYard and just click it, turns it on?
Oh,
you have everything.
I guess let's see how big. Let me see how big it is, because I think I have a 200 meg. It's 355 megs.
I don't know I don't know if they'll like that. They might.
Yeah.
Don't worry, just play the video. We'll do the sound effects.
Okay. We can have Kryptonian go pew 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 pew. Usually when I share a video, I could do it through Chrome and it'll work, but for some reason it wants to download it every time, and I don't have a clue why. So, all right, so we'll go ahead and continue here. But trust me, there's lots of pow 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 going on. See if I can make that full screen there. I haven't played first-person shooters in a very long time, but I like this level. The rain. I live in Seattle, Washington, USA. It was raining like a son of a gun yesterday. It was just ridiculous. And this, when I was playing this, I was like, wow, I'm feeling like I'm outside. So.
Oh, can you get in? Oh, headshot. Nice.
Yeah, I had to make sure I at least had one or two of those to show up. and I shot him in the butt.
Well, you did say you wanted the sniper. You wanted to be a sniper.
I did.
And this
you remember,
is you,
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm one of them sissy snipers that hides and kills from the weeds.
Oh, look, you're finding a good hiding place there. That one's a classic. That one's a good one.
Yeah. I'm sorry I couldn't get the sound to work, but
no, that's
trust
all right.
me, guys. The sound is good. It's really good.
I might have some additional footage that we can play as well.
Cool.
That Matt put together.
I like how when you're holding the rifle, it moves while you're breathing.
Yeah.
So it's not just, you can shoot and it hits every time or something.
You can hold shift and you can, hold your breath.
Hold your breath. Thank you. I didn't think about that. But
oh, wow, you're a pretty good shot though from the distance.
I'm okay.
We're gonna have to watch out for you, aren't we?
Well, hopefully, if I'm good enough, you won't be able to watch out for me. You'll just be dead. But I don't think I'm going to live that long. I think the rest of you are going to find me. I mean, a good sniper moves around, which I do. I used to play, Battlefield. I played that for years on the Xbox. And see, look,
Yeah.
Steve killed me. How did you do that, Steve?
I don't know. I think I named myself as one of the bots.
They should be Steve, Mike, and Matt. All the bots.
So that was a game mode called Free for All, and you were on the blue planet. So within the simulator, we're simulating the actual planets, and the blue planet, the weather system comes in really quick. So 1 minute it can be raining, and the next minute you've got sunshine, and if you look in detail, you'll see things like puddles form on the ground as it rains, and then as the sun comes out, you'll see the puddles start drying up, and little details like that really excite me, So, so Matt was the main builder on there, for doing.
Oh, no kidding.
For doing integrating that, that's why he's absolutely tired out. And also it's sort of on its way to it's 1:30 in the morning where he is right. So I think he'd had a night day. He wasn't going to be. Yeah.
When Matt first sent over the level to play, so I also was testing this out, and it was just me and this one bot, and for the first 10 minutes. I couldn't find. I thought I was alone, and then bam, I'm dead. So I run out. I'm trying to find this guy. Like, where is he? And it took me 10 minutes to find that he was hiding somewhere. Every single time he was hiding, and I think he was on the maximum difficulty. So he was just wiping me out. So it was full on war, and eventually, I got my own back. But it was great. Just the first sort of test play, and I'd completely forgotten that it was even test play. It was just straight on game wars,
That's cool.
It's been great.
I tried a couple other levels too, which I didn't record because when I first started playing it a couple days ago, I was like, okay, I just want to sink my teeth in and see how bad I really am, right? And I'm really bad. I took a machine gun and I couldn't hit the broadside of a barnyard because I think I went at six guys out there or something, all free for all. And I got popped almost every time I respawned. I'd respawn for 2 seconds. I was dead.
Yeah,
there was this level had stairs going inside a building, stairs outside a building. I was jumping off of balconies onto the ground and chasing people and bots, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm excited. And this is just pre-alpha, baby. I love it. I want to get in there with Kryptonian.
Oh, I'm down for that.
Pew.
You guys can hear me now, though, right?
Oh yeah.
Loud and clear.
Question from the Greek.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I came way back from Counter-Strike, so I got a lot of hours and experience.
Yeah.
In these shooters. Okay, so playing in the little LAN parties and stuff, and I'm supposed to be setting up networks, but we decided to take over a few floors and play some Counter-Strike. Back in the early 2000s, of course. But so I love that. I love shooters.
You know what? Counter-Strike, they've just come out with Counter-Strike 2, you know, like a new version. And yeah, I downloaded it and had a go there. But it's got some of the sneaky hiding places they've got rid of, and or it's just a little bit different. It's sort of same, but a little bit different. And yeah, I guess I'm rubbish. I'm rubbish, by the way, you know. So
I remember playing, Wolfenstein when it first came out, Dune, Hexen. I mean, all of that stuff. Quake,
Duke Nukem,
Duke Nukem. Yep. And then when Half-Life came out,
I remember when you had to get the pirate version of Duke Nukem to put it on your computer and stuff.
That's something. And then Half-Life came out, and oh my God. I think I got carpal like 3 times playing that game. I mean, I couldn't stop playing it. Those little crabs come up and get on your face, and I was like, dude, this is cool. That was a lot of fun. And now here we are in 2023, moving into 24, and we have Cosmic Force, and it's not just a shooter, like Steve was talking about. Mm-hmm. There's many other aspects, and I have a question about that in just a sec, but I have to put this up. The Greek asked, "Will Batman Cruz be the greatest hero in the Cosmic Force universe?"
Oh, of course. I mean, why would there be a doubt?
Sorry, was he asking you?
Bam.
No. You can be anything you want to be in the Cosmic Force universe. That's the beauty of it. So we're going to find out, though. I mean, you've laid the gauntlet down and said when multiplayer comes. So right now, it's single player against the bots, but the multiplayer version will be coming out. And I think this is when it's going to excite sort of people like Chris, who wants to get in and literally shoot the Greek or a Kryptonian.
Well, I'm not. I'd never shoot the Greek, but Kryptonian.
I will. I'll shoot Greek right in the butt.
If you can catch me.
He's right to the side of you.
Every once in a while, just a good old shooting will help out.
I'll shoot him in the ass. You saw how I did that.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna find the hiding places. All right. I'm gonna find the glitches. Okay. I'm gonna find them. That's what I do. You guys go out and find each other. I'm finding all the places to hide, and then come find me.
And then you come at the end and win it.
Hey, you guys, you're gonna know where I'm at on the leaderboard. It'll always be easy to find me. I'll be at the bottom.
Oh, at the bottom. Oh.
Yeah. You can. Hey, where's Odie on the leaderboard? Just look at the bottom. It's easy to find. Deadbod Veteran has a question. Is there a way to see which or how many power cores we've staked, and when are they available to us again to use for their value?
Right. Okay. So when it comes to the value, this is when the actual marketplace is put together. When I said put together, it's about 80% built, the actual marketplace. And what you can do is the actual value in the power cores, they've got a CFX value, which is the Cosmic Force token. And you can use that against buying other NFTs within the actual game. So I would say the true value comes when we go live, because that's when everything comes into play. So that'll be during the first quarter, but we do want to release the actual store before, and because right now there are a few NFT cores. Some people might have some bit cores of certain colors that they want to swap and change for other, there's been like an activity that's been going on in the background. So before even releasing the game, we have an activity which maybe even might want to talk more about the cores. And now there's been a strategy, a game within a game, in the crypto side. So yeah, just to anybody that doesn't know, and this is the first time watching, just explain what the cores are, because
Well, the cores are core to the game. In terms of them being building blocks on the blockchain as NFTs, they were originally designed as the one and only rewards available in the game. And we decided that we would allow a pre-sale on this to distribute this before we launched the game, so that there already in use, and basically we wanted to put a limit on how many there were, so they would be used in the game, and as they were used, they would actually be recycled in the game. So it's the same NFTs that get recycled throughout the history of the game. So to allow people to own this from the start, it's in the history of in the blockchain. You can see all these transactions, what's been going on, and yeah, the main point of them, of course, is that they hold value within the game. They hold value outside of the game, that you could actually sell this on the open market, because they would have a cash value. And the cash value is what it's worth within the game. Currently, CFX, which within the game, the value is that they're power cores. They run the system. And fusing the cores together, improves it compounds the power and the CFX value, and so it's like they were building blocks for the game because it represents owning a piece of the game. That was the main concept, and this concept runs through the whole time, so that at any point, if you want to sell some value that you've collected, you're allowed to exchange this with another player who may be joining in later but doesn't want to spend as much time to get up to a certain level, not in terms of skill, but just what they're worth,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then and actually, like, part of the question that Dadbod is talking about as well is like in buying a planet or a percentage of a planet, you could actually stake a dual stack cores or plate cores. And in the beginning, it was like the cost of the planet share was so much CFX, and you get a discount for you weren't staking them at that point. You were actually giving your power cores. You were actually submitting the value of the power cores. But then we'd made a decision that we would change everything and would make it that you haven't got rid of your power cores anymore. Yeah, they're now staked. And so what Dadbod's asking is, when do you get that back? And I think we have to like set the time of when we go live is when you will get them back, when the pre-sale stops. And as Mike was saying, like, we're not going to be selling any power cores after we go live. You're only going to be able to win them through challenges and through missions, and you will still be able to fuse them. And the fusing process means that you start off with like a low value item. You fuse 4 of them together, and it increases like 25, an extra 25% on there. And actually, as you go up and fuse more together, I'm just explaining it as simple as I can. It's like pieces of jigsaw. They fuse together, you get a bonus. You then get bigger jigsaw pieces. You fuse them together, you get a 33% bonus, and then you get another 25% bonus. So actually, the top value of the top core is like set $250 or 250 CFX. But also it's used to be able to power your mining settlements, your mining equipment, your vehicles, and it can give you the edge within the game as well. So there's a gaming element to having the power cores. And maybe if you work out the math right from the beginning to the end, it may only cost you like $65 to end up with something that's got a value of $250 if you play it right from the beginning. And that's how it works. So one thing I was thinking is that I do have some video footage. I can play it in the background, and I'll put the volume down, but we can continue talking as it's playing in the background. And then if there's anything that you see and you think, oh, let's make a comment or ask about certain things that we're seeing.
Sounds good. While you're pulling that up, if maybe I can ask, we can have Mike take this one. NR Legend asks a good question. In your opinion, as an investor, and of course not financial advice, et cetera, which is the better play for return on investment, the planet share or a node?
Well, that comes down to the planets. And, there's 6 planets to choose from. And depending on what the community do, one of the planets will be in the lead, and one of the other planets will be at the bottom of the charts. I suspect there will be a huge balance in an ongoing organic balance that happens, but it comes down to the users and how they play.
All right, cool.
Yeah, because on the planets, if you have a planet share, you get rewards. You actually get monetary rewards in CFX for the number of people that have actually bought and sold land on there. So, business activities that happen on that planet, you get rewarded for. But something I need to say is, when you buy a planet share, you also get a node. So you will get what we're calling a full node, because they become full nodes in the future. You get a full node if you get a 1% planet share, and you get a light node if you get a 0.1% planet share. So in my opinion, the cream of all of it is the planet ownership, because that ties in line with the popularity of the game and building on the game. But the nodes get rewards through the actual blockchain, which also ties into the popularity of the game. But more than that, the nodes, because it's a game in blockchain that we're putting together that's specifically built for speed and low-cost transactions, which you might think, I don't need to be low-cost transactions if I'm buying a node. But actually, the number of transactions that are required for gaming is much higher than normal financial activities. So it needs to be low cost but high activity. And we're opening up so that actually other games will be on there. So if you buy a node, the nodes will profit from other games that will be introduced. Once we're like the pilot scheme, we're the original game that will be used on there, but in the future, we're going to create tools like we were going to do for Vulcan. We're creating the tools to allow other game makers in Unreal or other platforms to actually build on that platform on the blockchain. So yeah, there's quite a few documents out there for you to read if you click the links, and it'll go into a little bit of detail, but the decision is yours. Yeah.
The choice is yours, Captain Planet.
That's it.
Cheesy. I want to have a 1% because of a planet, because I want to be like in the movie Total Recall. I want to be Cohagen. I want to be the ruthless Cohagen. I'm going to turn off your air unless you pay me more money.
Yeah. I remember the scene in that game. It's in that film. Where the fan just slowly,
and
everybody just looks up and they go, "That's life. That's our life." And then, of course, these eyeballs, Arnold Schwarzenegger's eyeballs.
Too funny.
But if you want
ready,
just play that one in the background, and like I say, we'll continue talking.
Oh, here we go. All right, and I'll move us over here.
That's all right. And what I need to do is just actually go to the screen and press play, and then I'll just make sure the volume is okay.
Or I guess we can make it full screen. Let's see if we can make it full screen.
Yeah,
that's
nice.
There, how's that?
Access granted.
All right. So right now, this is Matt doing some playing. Like you saw just a second ago, he was running around the actual simulator room, and now he's going to a different map. So this is on the magenta world, but he's actually inside one of the bases there. And again, this is a simulator of what's going to be built.
Wow.
But rather than doing a simulator that's like, like substandard, like really low graphics and everything, we decided that simulators in the future were going to be as good as being there, So we're. What I'll do, I'll turn it down just a little bit, and then you're able to talk.
I think that was Kryptonian right there. I'm pretty sure it was.
Right, yeah, there we go. We can talk better. And this planet, it has a lower gravity as well. So I don't know if like Matt's actually going to do any big jumping around, but you can literally jump from the top rails down, and you won't die. Whereas in other worlds where the gravity is greater than Earth, you may die quicker. So. The object of some of the games, you see the spinny round things. Well, the spinny round things are actually what we're representing as the power cores. So right now we have 3 gameplay modes. One is free for all, where literally you're in a game of survival, and then we've got what we call capture the cores. And part of the game is you need to run around and actually capture the cores while the enemy is running around and trying to capture them back. In the meantime, is actually running around and shooting you. Now, I do have to explain that what you're seeing at the moment, we haven't finished our final skin version. If you see a close-up, you might see the fighter ship emblem on the front of the guys running around, but it is actually the Unreal standard mannequin design that you're seeing at the moment.
We wanted to get the gameplay out as soon as possible for people to play and test. So of course we could finish more, and then everyone would have to wait. But better to open the doors. Even on the first release, there were some performance issues, and it was very good to get the feedback about many things that we could quickly put out a hot fix, and then people could continue to enjoy test playing.
And we have the in the description of the video down below, you guys, if you're new to this and you want to check out more, we do have links to the socials for Cosmic Force, including the Discord, which is a really great resource for you to ask questions, and you can get your hands on this pre-alpha release to play it yourself, give the team feedback to help them make it even better. So this is cool. I know my strategy for taking out Matt: throw a hand grenade and run.
Yeah. So we have limited like hand grenade action going on with this. So we have exploding barrels and all sorts of other things that are going to be coming up. There's certain objectives and things that are in there right now. But we're new ideas are coming all the time. And the difficulty we have is like knowing what to concentrate on.
True.
But so this is the planet that you were on.
At least we can hear it.
This is what it would have sounded like, yeah?
Yeah.
So right now we're doing team deathmatch.
Yeah. Sneaky preview of the iconic.
And just for those that are watching, if you happen to notice, there's a little bit of lag. That's because it's coming from one side of the planet, going through StreamYard, then going to YouTube, and there's some lag. But I assure you, if you saw my gameplay from earlier, it was a little smoother. It's wicked smooth on a halfway decent PC when you're playing it. I put everything, by the way, guys, I put mine on Ultra for everything, and I mean, no big deal.
Yeah,
it was really crisp.
It should
really fast.
It should run at 60 frames per second, no problem. In fact, there's an experiment, like Matt put it on an older XP machine without any fancy graphics card, and it did actually play at a low frame rate, but it worked. It played.
Cool. So it'll be able to be used by a much wider audience. So that's really nice.
It will. We're also excited to be looking to get on the next version of DLSS, which will provide up to 3 times the FPS of what was currently available. So we'll be one of the first games to implement this too. Of course, awesome. we want to be on the forefront, but we check stuff out before just doing it. We want to make sure that it's going to be stable enough. But we do get to experiment.
Oh, sorry. Mike, DLSS. Now, does that have something to do with the shading in the game? Is that what it is?
What it does is it reduces the amount of calculations that it needs to do. So what it might take is like instead of rendering 30 frames, it will render, in this case, about 10 frames, and actually use an algorithm to determine what the in-between frames should be. And it's mainly because, like, what's shown on screen, it doesn't need to calculate this much, right? The algorithm can, just like animation, your eyes make up a lot of the information, and the computer can do the same, So it's just an advancement in software, and as we keep moving forward, right now we're seeing more advancements in software than hardware. At least the acceleration in software right now is tremendous, and what it allows us to do is really maximize our hardware that we have without needing to constantly upgrade our memory and RAM and CPUs and stuff. So it's going to be very interesting times.
Very cool.
This is for the RTX range of graphics cards, isn't it? And I think they advertise it as being like actually using AI within the graphics card, because it's like predicting what you're going to do and where to put the power of the graphics and all that kind of stuff. So it's
that's really
crazy.
That's amazing. If you can if you're able to use the graphics card to harness that, or to harness the graphics card to do that calculation, oh my God, that is cool. I have an RTX 3080 from EVGA. Yeah. That's my favorite brand personally, and it's what they call the hybrid model, which it has its own 120 millimeter radiator with its own fans, and that thing, I have not been able to push it completely to the limit yet. So
really,
and so that I'm saying that for those of you that aren't really into maybe that kind of the hardware side of it, that just means that this game, I'm really looking forward to what Steve and Mike are talking about. They're trying to harness the hardware that we're using to make the experience that much better. Because it used to be for decades, video games pretty much relied on the CPU, and that was the major choke point. And you would max out this really kick butt, CPU. It's like, oh, my CPU kicks ass, blah, 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 blah. Until you play a game, then all the threads, they're just all maxed out. Your CPU is almost on fire, and it couldn't do half of what it was capable of doing. Then the graphics market completely changed everything. And NVIDIA and AMD have come out with some amazing cards that now it's hard to actually max them out. So it's gone the other direction. I'm really excited for where things are going.
So I'll tell you one thing. So imagine playing this and doing what you're doing, and actually, it could be aliens that you're fighting or whatever. It could be a separate faction that have got different ideas on how to rule the planets or whatever happens in the future.
Spoiler.
Don't spoil it. Yeah, but on the planet there, you saw the starship. Imagine being able to jump into the starship, the iconic, as we call it. That was good timing, that. And imagine access denied. But imagine being able to jump into it, and then you're next moment you're in space. So what you're seeing here, this is part of the actual base, and right now we limit the amount you can run around and explore, but every release we make, there could be doors that suddenly you can get in there and you can see a little bit more of the actual base.
Oh, cool.
And we can see
awesome.
the mess room here. And
nice. Oh, there's my chair.
That's
Kick back and relax.
So we wanted to create a difference between the simulator and the real world as we're running around just now. So as you can see, there's no HUD, and we're going to continue to explore different ways for how we differentiate when you're in the simulator and when you're not, because again, the idea is that this is like a virtual reality, and when you're in the simulator, it's as real as real life. But we still want the players to, have context of what they're playing at the moment. But it starts to not really matter. That's the point, right? Because as the base is built there on the magenta map, the real version, it's going to look very similar because that's it. It's the real one. And this allows us to really explore areas of the gameplay in segments. So I have many ideas for the simulators. Some will have to wait until later, but the next ones that we're going to see are, of course, the core gameplay elements, things like the flying through space, potentially some type of mining activity to see how that feels, get there, collect the rocks, send this to the refinery, and just possibly even parts of the story, if possible. And then just like this, we can release updates and boom, there's a new simulator available to play. You can try and test it out and get access to this. And pretty soon as we can, this will all start to be linked up to the blockchain. So the activities that go on the base start to reflect on the blockchain, and now it really matters what's going on, right? So you're doing some training, that's one thing, but if you're fighting against Kryptonian and there's a leaderboard, it's a real leaderboard, you can't be taken down. That's some next level stuff.
Everybody's fighting against Kryptonian, apparently.
No.
You keep coming up, man. Everybody keeps coming up like, well, fighting against Kryptonian. And Kryptonian...
It's because he sets himself up, I mean, he even wears the T-shirt. If he wears the T-shirt, he's going to play the game,
so. It's all about the pew-pew life.
Yeah.
There you go. Some Star Wars pew-pew, right?
Look at this, I'm a bit saying today. But yeah, right, so in the beginning, because we didn't want to try and build everything multiplayer and make that live at the start. It just adds the amount of complexities it adds is unbelievable. And there may be just certain game elements that we make multiplayer to start with, and then it slowly rolls out to everything. So the idea is, and the concept is, that we have the leaderboards, as Mike was saying, and in the simulator room, you would have seen like a really big screen over the top of the vista that you can look out on, and this is where the leaders will be recorded and shown. And we could have daily leaderboards, or we could have weekly leaderboards for certain parts of the sims, And the exciting thing is, like I say, about getting in that starfighter and then being able to go into space, and then you meet an enemy that you've got to do a dogfight, and you've got all the other elements that you're going to be doing. And then the third simulator that's going to come online, you're going to be able to explore the 6 planets and actually go around and explore to as far as the actual drones have been able to scan, because it's all based on scanned data. But it gives people a good idea which planet they're thinking of going to. And then there's another 3 simulators, and we'll find out what they're all about. But there's certainly going to be some land sort of tournaments and actually like using the all-terrain vehicles and racing and just all sorts of things. But the most important thing is that it's leading up to missions. And when we put a mission together, which could be We could have a space station above, in orbit above the main like planet, the home base world, and the mission could be that you need to go to the space station and you need to fix parts of it or do whatever, or there's actually the old intergalactic vehicle, the transport vehicle that brought everybody there in the first place, and that also is above the planet in orbit, and there's going to be missions to go to there, and these missions might unravel some of the mysteries of the past, and so it's not all necessarily on a straight timeline, is what I'm saying, but it all leads up to becoming residents and exploring and becoming settlers on these planets. But the exciting thing, of course, for everybody that's watching this is it ties into crypto. So everything that you do in this virtual world makes a financial difference in the real world as well. So if you're mining, you're not just mining in the game, you're mining in the game, and the profits and everything becoming crypto that then you can actually take out in real money. And the idea is that as time goes by now, that to a bigger audience, and I've got to say this, for the main majority audience that play this game, they may not even touch the crypto. They may buy into the game just in the normal route, using the credit card. They become a cadet, they play it, they buy things in game. In the background, there's a crypto account for them, and at any point they can jump in and they can take full ownership of what they're doing. But all it means is that just as you play like normal games now, and you can buy assets, everything's backed up by the crypto. And I think once it starts getting to a certain level, we'll make sure that we're educating people that they can switch over to a wallet that they completely look after themselves. So we don't want to be only custodial wallets. But in the beginning, for some game players, for them to get into it without needing to know about crypto, we have to have some custodial wallets just in the beginning for the first-time players, the first-time people that have never touched crypto. But we'll be putting all safeguards in there, and then when they decide to switch over, everything else is gone. The old wallet is gone, and the new wallet, they have full ownership. We don't have any access to it whatsoever. It's the way it's got to work. So
I'll jump on there to say, like, the idea is that the game is finished on a particular milestone, which will obviously have the multiplayer, everything set up, connected to the blockchain, so on. And someone would be buying the game as a usual game, like you would on Steam, for example, and that's the game is complete, as there's the missions and all the features that you'd expect from a AAA game. And then what that allows people to do is just jump and play the game, and they don't even need to know about crypto, right? They don't need to, it's not like some difficult thing you got to do to get involved. No, you're just playing the game, and everything's been set up in the background with the account information that they sign up for, and at any point they want to join onto the blockchain server where the big boys are playing with CFX, with money, with stuff. That's what that side is for, and that's it. That's really the way that we bring crypto and traditional gaming together, because right now there's a huge separation, right? Traditional gamers, they hate the sound of crypto. Everything about crypto, they say, oh no, NFTs, I'm not touching that, before they've even had a look. And we don't want to discourage people from crypto, and we don't want this to be a crypto game. It's not a game that's just to have NFTs thrown on top. It's built from the base where people can play and enjoy a proper game, and also the rewards of using a blockchain and all the extra stuff that can be done like this. So that's why we're doing this.
And the beauty is that the thousands of players that may play only to a certain extent, and they enjoy playing like every week or whatever, and they're building up like they're building like some better accessories on their spaceship or whatever. You know, they're doing everything in the traditional way that gamers do, right? And they do that right now. You know, they've been doing it for years. You know, so it's not anything different. But in the background, it's actually using the blockchain. The mechanism will be in there that part of what they've bought into actually creates the gas fees that are then going to be used on the blockchain that then pay the node holders, right? So even though the players are nothing, they may know nothing to do with what's going on in the background, the actual guys out there like yourselves that are node holders or whatever, you're being rewarded because you've built part of the infrastructure that's being used as well. And something that's said before, as a node holder, we're looking at multi-purpose, making a multi-use for the nodes, and part of the use of the nodes is actually to use them as game servers as well. So for the multiplayer, the nodes will double up as game servers, and extra rewards will be coming back to the node holders because of that, rather than it being a separate expense as a game company that you're actually having to pay for separate servers, because these nodes will be very much good enough to do the two activities. But it's something that we're going to look into, and then we work out how to distribute the gameplay. It comes down to the number of simultaneous players. There's no actual graphics or anything like that. It's only like pointer information that's stored on these or passed through the nodes. So the actual throughput should be like pretty good. But so we're trying to be at the edge of technology, and you've got to push it a little bit with what you're doing, and that's what we're doing right now.
I like how you're trying to merge the two worlds together kind of seamlessly, I guess might be a good way to say it. Like Mike was saying, there's some people that don't give a hoot. They don't want anything to do with crypto. They don't care. They just want to play the freaking game. And there's others that maybe they are like that to begin with, but then they find out more about it. That's kind of how I got into crypto. I was doing something else, and then I followed some breadcrumbs, and I knew about crypto, but I wasn't even paying attention to it. And then all of a sudden, next thing I knew, I was mining Bitcoin for a while, and and Ethereum, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, you could actually invest in this stuff? Are you freaking kidding me? Whoa! And then down the rabbit hole, and here I am. So it's just, there will be plenty of folks, I'm sure, that'll play the game. They'll find it, and they'll do a LAN game or something like Kryptonian was talking about, the good old days of LAN games. you had to have your router and the switch and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
I think it's time. I think it's time for crypto to finally, or for gaming to finally include crypto to some degree. If it's through blockchain. I mean, that's the only path forward, is that, or don't do it at all. And someone has to do it. Do it right. Do it once. I hope that Cosmic Force can actually set the standard.
Well, we've got a big mountain to climb, and
it's about being there, being in market first, right? Being the first to bring it to market, right? So,
but there is a lot of resistance that you can get from the main companies, but it's like we're in a David and Goliath situation, right? And we all know that David did win Goliath in the end. And when I say that, we're not against the gaming companies. We're working in Unreal. So we're working with Epic. Epic is also a games company. So we want to work with games companies, but they're like, they have multi-million dollar budgets, and we don't, right? We don't want to push, and it's like, we need to earn millions before we can do anything. We want to prove that we can do things with small amounts. So if we can do what we're doing now, the way that it's built up, think about what can be done in the future. Now, Ordinato, I did say at the beginning that I need to go. So literally, I have to go in the next sort of 3 minutes.
I was going to bring that up because I saw we were over the top of the hour, and I know that you said pretty close to now. So and I know it's like 2:00 in the morning or something for Mike over there in Montenegro.
Actually, not too bad for me. It's my brother. He's definitely asleep now.
Well, he's in Bali, so it's like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. there. So
he may make the next one. He'll sleep in the daytime and make sure he's on it. But it was just if there was any outstanding questions.
Let's see if I.
But if not, I'm going to go.
No, we don't have any other questions. There were some really great questions, though. Thank you to those that were able to ask questions for Steve and Mike for the project Cosmic Force. Again, they're going to get going here in just a second, and we'll wrap up as well. But I wanted to make sure that if you don't know anything about this, or you know a little bit about it, or whatever, if you want to find out more, and we hope you do, information's in the description below. So you can find out their socials. You can go to their Discord, which is a real great way to get a hold of them. The team is very, very good about getting back to folks. That's one of the nice things about a small team. So they can get back to you really quick. I see it all the time. It's one of you guys is always answering a question. You have a really awesome mod in there. He's Owl. What CF? The CF Owl? What's his name?
Yeah,
it looks like
OG.
an owl.
Yes, it's CFOG. Yeah.
OG. Yeah. He's great.
He was called the guy that never sold. He used to be. That's his other.
Oh, that's
name.
him.
Well,
yeah. He is the nicest young man. He is a really smart as ever. Oh my gosh, he's a great kid. Well, I guess he's an adult now. I shouldn't call him a kid. Sorry.
Yeah, he had his birthday and he's well and truly an adult. Don't you worry. So
there we go.
But the thing, I can say this publicly, he got the monster computer with a 4090 in there.
Nice.
RTX 4090. It is a games monster machine. So so him and I've got to mention Pickle is his angle in Discord. Like if you go into our Discord and you just look through history or maybe even the pinned messages, you can follow and watch some of the streams that they did on Twitch, and it's actually pretty good to see them going step by step into the game and actually stumbling over things that they find as they go along. So they're testing at the same time, but it's all there, it's all public, and that's the way that we want it to be, So for me, I'm sorry I have to go. It's really good to see Kryptonian in the house, and I know Kryptonian he knows a lot about the servers and computer side of things, so he might have done one or two businesses down that line. So you never know how Kryptonian could be giving advice or information, or we could work with you at some point in the future. Who knows what could happen, and that's what the beauty of the team that we have. And and I've got to say the extended team, and that extends to other people as well, like Greek and NR, and it's a great group that have come together, and it's good to watch some of the updates. And I was saying to Chris about the last video that went out there, and that was all about the cosmos, and the debate has started, and I look forward to watching more of them, or maybe jumping on.
That's a crazy video.
We got some stuff lined up. So you're talking about the last live we just did?
Yeah, the flat Earth. Yeah. So it was really supposed to be about the moon, but it went into flat Earth. So I'm more focused on space, But I love space. But so I got a lot of people coming at me that want to get up and talk about what they believe and their proofs and all these things. So both sides. So we got some stuff lined up for you guys. Yeah,
I look forward to more of that, and I'm glad to see the moon right there behind you as well.
Oh, the moon's real.
Wait a minute. Is that Mike coming over the North Pole of that moon? Mike's getting ready to land in the Sea of Tranquility. What do you got to say about that?
This is where I really clock out now. I enjoyed watching the first man on the moon, by the way, Kryptonian. And with that, I'm going. Okay.
All right.
Bye for now, guys.
See you.
Okay, bye.
Always fun to have you, Steve. It's always fun to have you, Mike. I'm glad you're able to take some time out of your schedule to share with us and everybody in the audience. I love your game. It's only in pre-alpha, bro. I mean, that is so cool. I expected to actually have a lot more glitches than I did. I really didn't run into any. And I'm expecting to, until it's gamma, of course there's going to be, the beta and everything that's going to have glitches. That's to be expected. So if you do download, folks out there, if you do download that, keep that in mind. It's not expected to work perfectly. And it's just a small piece of what's coming.
It's the pre-alpha. It's supposed to be, not ready yet. That's the point. It's not ready. You're getting first access. You're not having to wait. Otherwise, it would be the end of this month. So now you're jumping ahead. You're joining the team basically. And so far it's been a really nice experience. It even feels like, say for example, I'm focused on what I'm doing, and then Matt comes up to me and says, "Oh, I finished this level. You want to play test this," and I'm playing this, and it feels like I feel the same feeling, right? It's like brand new to me, and I'm like, wow, I get the feeling, and I hope that continues as well when there's new people join, and when things become organic, and there's just a new experience all the time. Really great stuff. So
that's really cool. I can't even imagine how long it takes to construct just a level for people to run around on. I mean, that's got to be unreal.
Well, we're trying to build things modular so that when so there's initial things that take a long time to build up, but once those modular kits are in place, it becomes faster. And what we'll see is an acceleration in development as time goes on, and we're always learning. We're always once we've experimented and we decide something, so we're really like taking heavy steps. And I do expect to have minds blown again and again. We haven't even really scratched the surface for what the game is going to be. And right now, one of the places I'm focusing on is the story, which no one knows much about. Some people have been asking, like, "Oh, who's this girl on the walls, on the posters?" And when there's two bits of information, whoever can guess this first, and the clues right there in front of your face, if you're in the simulator rooms, the answers will come. So keep guessing, guys. It's going to be fun.
Imagine that there's a pretty lady on the wall and some guys found it. That's nice. That's nice. No, that's cool. That's cool. I like that. I mean, I suck at solving puzzles, so I'll have to leave that to somebody else. But I think we're going to go ahead and call it, and we'll go ahead and end the stream here in a quick second. Thanks again, Mike from Cosmic Force, for being here, and to your dad, Steve, for being here previously, and for Kryptonian and Chris Cruzy being here. And I want to put a shout out for our new brand, Omni Elites. It's a real world business, a real LLC that consists of Chris Cruzy, Kryptonian, and our legend, Confirmin RM, Greek DeFi Guru, and myself. And I think I got everybody. Didn't I get everybody? I got everybody. Yeah. And
you said Fowler, right?
Fowler.
Oh, Fowler. See, I knew I missed. Okay, Fowler. Sorry, bro. I love you, Fowler. You know that. We can help you. Well, there's a couple of things we could do, but I'll just keep it short and sweet. We can help take your advertising and socials to the next level. If you have a real world business, and it's not that we won't help crypto, but crypto is not really our focus, crypto businesses. I think that's around 5% of what we're kind of looking to work with, at least to start with, but mostly focused on real world businesses. So if you know someone or have one, and you're looking to take your presence in the world, especially socials, up to the next level. Thank you for bringing that up. We do have a link in the description below of all of wherever you're watching this on any channel. You do have our LINKTREE, and you can contact us. We're very happy to help you. There's so much more to Omni Elites, but we're just in our beginning stages. So I think I'll go ahead and leave it at that. And hey guys, remember, I'll do my very best. Sorry, I was going to say, remember that I try to be here every Tuesday. I've had some challenges of late because I have a new gig as a ninja coach. So things have been a little crazy in my world. I apologize for not being here on the regular, but hopefully we'll be here next Tuesday. All right. Be thankful for the opportunities you come across in life. Love hard on your family. And always remember, chance favors the prepared mind.